Please welcome a player making his maiden appearance on the sport's biggest stage after victory over former finalist Barry Hawkins at the qualifiers. This, without doubt, is the biggest match of his life. What a night and what a debut for Jack Jones. And his opponent, making his 19th appearance on the sport's biggest stage. Back as a top seed after that brilliant win at the German Masters. 20 years after his debut. Still battling, still delivering, and still believing. He is the captain, Ali Carter. On table one, to a player halfway through a memorable debut. What a recovery and what composure, winning 3 of the last 4 from 5-0 down. He'll give it everything tonight, and I promise he'll come down the right staircase. Pang Jung Xiu. And finally, to a player 4 frames away from a 27th second-round appearance. World number 1, the reigning, defending champion of the world, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
James. So a handshake, and the curtain has come down in between the two tables.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening, everybody, to a fascinating second session. To say in the commentary box tonight with Sean Murphy, and I don't know how much you saw of this morning, Sean. You watched a little bit of it, but it's one of those matches, could have been any scoreline.
Yeah, good evening, John. Good evening, everybody. Saw some of it this morning, I should say. Yeah, it could have been any score from what I saw. I think the experience of Ronnie O'Sullivan definitely told. He made less mistakes than his opponent. Pang had an amazing chance to steal one frame that seemed vitally missed the black off the spot. And that's quite kind of the difference so far.
Yeah, you've had first-hand knowledge of this young man. You've played him a couple of weeks ago, so what can you tell us about him?
He's very efficient in all areas, and he's had the season of his career, absolutely. Only a young man, of course. He's not very experienced on the tour at all, but he's slowly but surely this season been getting better and better with every tournament that passes, and he's a real handful for sure.
I think it was a good point that Ken made earlier, the fact that he's had a session this morning in the Crucible, knows what it's all about now, so the shock you get sometimes of coming down into the auditorium, you've got over that and he'll be used to the surroundings and the occasion, even though it's always daunting playing against Ronnie O'Sullivan at the Crucible. At least he's had a taste of it. No, that was Ronnie's long game. That was a toughie. I think he's left the gap past the green and the red in the centre pocket. So not a bad little start to this.
One. Six.
Well, that's an early mistake there. He played for the red on the black spot. Just bit into the cue ball a bit too much and spun it in behind that red. That was a shame, because that was a good chance to score a few tonight.
Yeah, that was a big mistake, wasn't it? I know it's early on,
I'm
but
going to do 6.
if you're 6-3 behind and desperate to win the opening frame, that was a particularly good positional shot there.
Yeah, here we see the shot. This was a simple shot on and off the cushion for the red on the black spot. Needed to play it with a touch of right-hand side to spin the cue ball down that end of the table. And, you know, it's not the fact that he didn't score at that visit. It's what it says to his opponent. That's the problem with that type of mistake. It's the message you send to someone like Ronnie O'Sullivan sat in the chair.
Players are always wary about playing off the side of the pack on like this, especially on these cloths that are so fine and the tables are so quick and the balls are so reactive. You tend to see the players playing thin with side as opposed to hitting them thick. And you see the side that Ronnie put on that just to widen the angle. A pretty decent safety shot too. He's blocking off one side of the pack for his opponent. Yeah, goes without saying, this is a very big opening frame this evening.
Well, that was an excellent shot to nothing, and his position on the brown possibly could turn this into a shot for something.
Yeah, obviously doesn't fancy the angle on the brown, so try and get as tight in as he can behind the yellow, although easier said than done on these super fine cloths. One thing you don't want to do is come up short and leave a free ball and put yourself in trouble, so head on the side of caution. But he's given him a problem. Can't really drop on the red that's on the top cushion, because he would leave one into the right hand pocket. So what Ronnie's looking at here around the angles, but got to be very careful here.
That's the type of shot he's playing there, with 3 or 4 cushions to the red on the back cushion. See how he goes. Good pace, just slightly wrong line now.
Pang's in 2-4.
Will Pang be interested in this red that's closest to the cue ball? Don't think he can pot the red past the black. And that red that's closest to the cue ball obviously pots, but very difficult to get on a colour. Yeah, I think that's the right choice.
Yeah, and looking at the angle there, that red that's to the right of the black from our commentary box looks like it's easily going to pop, but it's not quite so easy when you're actually down on the table. So playing in behind this red that Ronnie's trying to get to, it's definitely the right shot. So minor adjustment. It's particularly difficult on these new cloths first day play, because that's not the first or second, it'll be the third cushion. It'll just slide a little bit off that one. So you get 1 and 2, and then the third one is the one you have to watch. It'll slide off this now. the adjustment, but he has left the red I was on about into the right-hand pocket.
It's awkward cueing though, isn't it? The one to the right-hand corner pocket cueing over that red on the cushion that Ronnie hit on his escape. This isn't as easy as it looks at all.
Yeah, it's a funny shot that. If you just play that dead weight and drop it in, which you could easily have done with the green being where it is, I fancy him knocking that in. It's when you start digging down and putting a bit of pace in that you can hit the near jaw. It's a funny shot, that. And you have to face the consequences after the miss.
One. Six.
Played on that red just above the black. Has he run the cue ball too far? I think he has. There's quite a margin for error there off the blue. You'd have to say that's a mistake by his standards. At least a foot when he could have left the cue ball there to get that red, but overrun it. So chance for both players in this opening frame gone begging.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 6.
Yeah, well thought out and well played. No path down to the balk area from where he is at the moment, I can see. Can't really play push up and down because of the red that's on the top cushion. Yep, he's in a spot of bother. Yeah, tried the really thin clip. Yeah, maybe forced into a mid-range pot on this red. And he's taken on. No great way back into the balk area or ideal path, so big shot coming up. Which he's got. played very well. Nice clean pot. Had the insurance, of course, of the green over the middle pocket if he didn't land perfectly on the black, but nevertheless, that had to go in the hole.
Yeah, and I have to say at first glance, I think the green's the ball here. Don't think there's any value playing the black. It's going to tie the black up or send it up to the green spot. So I'd be leaving that until I can pot that red that's on the black spot. Needs the cue ball to pull up or carry on. And that's just finished.
4.
Bit of no man's land there. Red to the middle is quite thin, and the red to the corner is a bit more difficult than it appears.
Yep, not totally straightforward.
Players in due 4.
I must confess, I'd have been quite tempted to have potted the green in the middle pocket with a bit of check side and played up and down this side of the table, because I've had 2 reds maybe in the middle and may have even landed on the one that's on the black spot, so I think he missed an opportunity off the green there.
Nicely played. Would have been happier just a few inches further off this cushion and nearer this red, but you'd still expect Ronnie to get this. Oh, only just.
5.
And because it was so thick, lost position on the black.
Stop talking now. Ronnie also 5.
Once again, though, good example of not wasting a shot. Obviously disappointed not to get on the black, but safety's been played with great intent. Just making it difficult for his opponent to get that cue ball back up the table. Yep, there you go, you see. Forcing mistakes. He's got a little bit lucky there not to get a thicker contact on that red. Ronnie's safety had him in a bit of trouble again, but he can count himself fortunate there.
Another fabulous pot there. Didn't mean to hit the red on the side cushion and be on the black, but it was a great pot nonetheless.
Yep, 2 good shots there, and all of a sudden Frame's looking at his mercy.
8.
And you have to say his opponent can't really have too many complaints. He's had 2 chances in this particular
9.
frame. Unfortunately, when you play this man, your mistakes can be magnified.
But I think that's been the tale of the match so far, John. I think,
60.
you know, both players have had their chances from what I've seen. Pang was very much in the first session, no question about that. I think sometimes, certainly when you play Ronnie,
17.
and as a debutant especially, you know, you might think you're going to come into the match and get swept aside, but that's not what happened. This match could have been a lot closer than 6-3 after the first session. It also could have been a lot further ahead. O'Sullivan was 6-1 ahead at one stage. It was starting to look a bit like a procession.
24. But
Of course, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan we're watching, and he can spark into life any second.
The other thing to note as well, as good as he is, he could be a little rusty himself. Not played a lot of snooker lately. Been in a lot of
32.
tournaments and certainly not been at the business end of them. So he's coming here probably undercooked, you would say, match-wise. So as he
33.
gets through this, he should benefit from the run, as it were, in racing parlance. Okay, who you are, you practice all you like, you can't beat having a match.
40. 41.
So this blue will put Ronnie 42 points ahead. So just a red and a colour to leave Pang needing a snooker in this frame.
46.
And it is a frame that either player could have won. Ronnie looks like he's going to win it now.
47.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens after this frame, to see whether what type of fight Pang has got left, because Ronnie, as we know, is probably the best front runner we've ever had in the game.
52.
Are we going to see a fight back, or will Ronnie run to the line?
53. $60. $61.
Ronnie recently teamed back up with Steve Feeney of Sight Right. Felt that his alignment had gone wayward, having teamed up with Steve a few seasons ago, and
68.
been a big part of his success in recent seasons. And you can see Ronnie focusing on every shot here. He's using every shot
70.
as another practice shot to get those sighting techniques back into his game, working on every shot to be in the correct position. Trying to make it second nature.
73. 77. 82.
Well, I'll be impressed if this goes in. Not quite, but an excellent break of 82 from Ronnie O'Sullivan. And both players had chances, it has to be said, early in the frame. But it was Ronnie's mid-range red and position on the black that sealed it with an 82 break. He now leads by 7 frames to 3.
Keep the noise down, please. Thank you. Thank you. Frame 11. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Traditional left-handed break-off from Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's put Pang in a lot of trouble straight away. You never like it though, do you, as a player, when the black gets covered up by two reds either side of it. You just feel immediately as if the frame's going to go down a route you don't want it to. Whenever that happens, you come to the table and think, oh no, a longer frame or not a clear-cut frame, but not much you can do about it. Yeah, Ronnie had more than one look there at playing the red next to the black and free in the black. As I mentioned, you know, it benefits the better player to want the frame open, but you're never sure where balls are going to finish when you start moving more than one red at a time. And full respect for his opponent there.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, good cue ball again. It just makes all the difference. You just make it harder for your opponent just to cue. You know, that cue ball's 3 or 4 inches off the cushion. It's nowhere near as difficult. Good return.
That kind of proves what I was saying there a moment ago as we enter the 3-hour mark for the match. Pang moved a good 10 reds there and has popped one over the corner pocket. Fabulous pop. Is he on the pink?
One.
Oh, well. I think he's just far enough from the pink as we see the replay. No real idea where the cue ball was going. But I think he can pop that pink to the yellow pocket if he wants to. Looks dead straight.
Beautifully cued, and well done to the table fitter as well. Absolutely straight in the corner pocket.
Thanks.
Ronnie.
7.
Come back to his chair. He does do that when the referee has to do a more prolonged respotting of a ball in a situation where the spot isn't available. Ronnie, very rhythmical player, likes to get into his own rhythm and stride around the table and doesn't like to stand and wait at the table while the referee does that. He's perfectly entitled to sit down.
Eight.
All right, let's just see how he goes about this, because this is far from straightforward. Pink out of commission. Black, you would say, likewise for the moment. So this is like an exercise you do in the snooker club when you're practicing. Just leave the blue on the spot and try and keep potting reds and back
30.
for blue. Really important you get the cue ball high all the time.
40.
Yeah, that was lovely.
$19. 20. 25.
An inch or so short of pace, but he can use the red next door to this one to spring off back for the blue.
26.
Good kiss on the blue. I think the cue ball was heading for the side cushion by the green if that hadn't have caught the blue on the way through. He just overscrewed this slightly. You can see where the cue ball would have finished. It's not a natural angle on the blue to get round the table and back for a red. If he plays the green or the yellow, where's his next red coming from? It's only that one underneath the pink that pots, really. All the others are in each other's way.
Put that phone away, please. $29.
I'm not sure if that red nearest the cue ball passes the red in the middle of the table to the middle pocket. The red above the black is obviously available. And the red nearest the cue ball is available to the yellow corner pocket as well, but as John said, this is far from straightforward.
That's a clever way of playing it, as long as he gets past the brown. As long as he gets past the brown, and he hasn't. He just needed to land on the blue there. That would have been perfect opportunity. But now all he can do is tuck him up.
Ryan O'Sullivan, 30.
He could play something like that. Might have to play it with a smidge of left-hand side to get in. His mind's eye, he might even be trying to hit the black. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But he doesn't want to go past that red.
Foul, no miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 7.
Well, as I say, he did hit the black, and it's not the end of the world. It's only 7 points. He's probably going to get another go at this. What he mustn't do here is leave the cue ball above the red, above the black. You can see those reds by the black spot are potable to the left-hand middle pocket. The red above the black available into both corners. So if he has another go at this, needs to be careful. He just had a quick look there at playing off the cushion and resting on the red to the side of the table there on the cushion. If he left the cue ball there, would that be too bad as well?
Foul, no miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 7.
He's coming to have a look, but I'll be very surprised if he takes it on. Yeah, absolutely. Putting him back into bat. Picked up a nice 14 points for nothing so far. May have some bearing on the frame later on, you never know. But he's under pressure at the moment. He's lost the first frame of this evening. He's 44 points to 0 behind. And he's in a bit of a pickle with the snooker, so has to be very careful here. As Sean said, not to stick it up. Problem he's got coming off the two cushions and then over to it is the black is just slightly more prominent than the red.
Black further that way.
Oh, referee Brendan Moore is moving it over a touch. Oh, there you go. As I say, looked even trickier when it was the other side of the red. That'll be checked on.
Yeah, so black is good now. Red. No, the other way. Stop. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that does make the shot a little easier if he comes off the top cushion first, but it's still not easy, this. number 3, but nevertheless well played. You don't want to keep giving 7 points away every time you're coming out that snooker, so well negotiated.
Yeah, and what Ronnie's doing here is a great example to any players trying to improve at the game. Even professionals watching this, always goes and has a look to see where he wants to put the cue ball. Doesn't just assume he knows from this end of the table. Go and have a look. Work out where you wouldn't want to be. And really give this shot as much effort as you would. The final black for a 147.
Yeah, that's excellent again. The green was the major ball there to cover the reds with. As I say, all he's leaving is this right-hand side of the table, which has got danger written all over it. So keeping that cue ball behind the green is keeping pressure on his opponent. He's managed to miss the red on the side cushion, but because of that, he's put a red over the other corner. So, a couple of frames today, it wasn't Ronnie's particular potting prowess that got him into the frames. It was a couple of excellent safety shots that were forcing opportunities, and he's using all his experience and match play here.
1.
Although we won't be happy with that shot. The red a little bit too thick with check side, and that's what kept the cue ball from going further down the table. Yeah, well played. Beautifully cued.
3. Four.
Yeah, happy he's gone far enough down the table for this blue. This has been a very competent match play frame of snooker, as you'd expect from
9.
somebody who's won 7 world titles. He's using all his experience here.
10.
These first rounds at the Crucible can be potential banana skins for the seeds, so Ronnie's given his opponent plenty of respect, playing all the right shots, keeping the pressure on him.
Ronnie O'Sullivan. 10.
Well, I didn't see that miss coming. It was just a bit far up the table for the blue. It was a thin cut, but one I expected him to get. I'd be very surprised if that was Ronnie's last visit to the table, though, in this frame. That 54-point lead with the balls where they are is significant.
One.
Lovely little shot he's played there. Yeah, Ronnie was looking very good there in that frame. Didn't see the blue being missed myself. It was a slightly skinny one, but still fancied him knocking it in, and he'll be kicking himself at a 54-point lead.
7.
Oh, I can't believe the shot Pang's played there. For me, the shot there was to pop the pink and try and move the red from the black. It was a chance missed. He's going to have to come back and fix that problem in a minute. Why not do it then?
8. $14. 50.
Nicely controlled shot, knocking the pink towards the middle pocket, with the red to the left-hand side of the table that's next. And then the hard work really starts. Those two reds on the cushions are the key to this frame. He did play a couple of shots left-handed in the first session. I don't think he'll be using the left hand for this shot. And this needs a lot of attention. Semi-blind pocket. Yeah, very nice. But
22.
Didn't want that kiss on the pink, and he can still pot the pink, but there isn't a great deal of point. See if he does what Ronnie was doing. Go and have a look at the balk end of the table, stand there and think, where don't I want to be?
Yeah, the only thing different for him, of course, being 32 points behind, he doesn't really want to put any ball safe. He's the one who needs the points.
See what I mean, though, here, John? Like, he's doing all his thinking from this end of the table. You know, even just going to the other end,
yeah,
you see the shot slightly differently.
Yeah.
It's an old-fashioned thing, but I think it still carries weight.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, good thing is he didn't put the brown safe. The only thing he may have blocked the pocket off with the green if he gets a chance later on, but there wasn't much he could do there, really. Pretty good cue ball.
Good chance here for Pang, though. If he plays the red left of the black, he can knock the red into the black, free the black, and the cue ball would be going towards green and brown.
Yeah, that was the problem with it if you got it thick. Mid-range red for Ronnie.
One.
Wow. That was so well struck. Middle of the pocket, screwed back for the pink. That was fabulous. And just this pink to leave Pang needing snookers in this frame.
Seven.
39 ahead, 35 remaining. This red to seal the deal.
8.
Yeah, he must have blew off the spot, a thin one earlier, which he thought may have let his opponent back in, but I agree with you. There was a chance there, Sean. He should have really been moving red and black earlier. You know, sometimes you just got to take a chance. Can't always guarantee
14.
position, but at least try and get the balls out in play, because the way the reds were positioned, it was going to be tough for a clearance, but at least try and give yourself the best chance of it. But generally at the moment, this man's
60.
using all his experience in match play snooker.
$90.
And his safety is paying dividends.
$23. $28. $34. And the frame.
Well, he's not bothered about the black. No
Sullivan.
fireworks just yet, but some excellent match play on display here from the 7-time world champion. He extends his lead to 8 frames to 3.
Thank you. Frame 12. Pang Jun due to break.
Good cue ball. Don't know whether he's left a potential shot to nothing with this long pot. Take some cueing to knock these in. He certainly won't be happy with that. That was nearly full ball. You can see him drop his head. You can't believe he's hit it that badly. It's as far as Ronnie O'Sullivan misses a pot by, and even at the jaws.
One. Six. Seven.
Yeah, great shot. Well controlled. Easy to hit that shot too hard and get the reds flying, but that was a well-controlled shot. Knew he was always going to be on the black. Well, he always knew he had this red nearest the cue ball underneath it, waiting
40.
for him, but it's awkward. He's going to need... Not sure what he's going to use here. The spider, swan neck. Here we are, the swan. I ripped a cloth using one of these, John, once. You've got to be very careful with those things.
Yeah, this is just awkward, isn't it? It's not about potting the red. You mean not really doing too much with the cue ball, although where he is a little trickier, but it's just horrible. You're panicking now. He's going to put the rest on top of the spider. This may take a while.
There isn't much left under the table, Pang.
Scaffolding, anyone?
Yeah, funnily enough, with the extended spider that he's now got to the table, it's actually too high. It gives you too much clearance over certainly one ball, but you need it to get over the pack like he's doing. He's still quite close to that red. Referee Brendan Moore having more than a glance. Well potted in the end, but this next shot's not going to give him any pleasure, I can tell you.
Well, if there's a bit of pressure on the last
15.
one, good luck with this. This is a real test of your cueing, especially when you're 8-3 down.
Pounds in due. 50.
Begin to tell you how difficult that was, cueing wise.
Slightly critical of Pang in the previous frame for not being creative enough with his shot selection. Ronnie's already had a look to see where he wants to be on the pink, so he can pot the pink and run through and move these reds. That's the difference.
I think it's Sean as well. The top of that cluster of reds is lovely, isn't it? It's accepting of the cue ball. It's in a nice little cupped shape. If he just powers through that, should hold the cue ball in there. Lovely little shape they were for the cue ball to go into.
7. Eight.
This just needs a careful little shot here to thread the cue ball through those reds if he wants the one nearest the black spot. It's probably the red he'll play for. Well played.
$14.
Can't avoid the cannon to the two reds next to this red, so it's quite up to him. He can either play it softly for the pink to the middle or power through for the blue. Softly, well judged.
50.
Another cannon to follow here, and it's a clear run to the line in this frame.
His cue ball's just on a string in these last few shots he's played. It wasn't
21.
the most promising, but managed to leave himself, as Sean said, that angle on the pink into the cluster, and since then, well, he's just turned this into
22.
a lovely opportunity, but it's because of the cue ball control. Might look simple, well, that's usually when it's at its best.
Yeah, you see with so many players around the world, both amateur and professional, they just don't give enough care and attention to where the cue ball's going to finish for the next shot.
29.
And the more specific you can be, the better. And you're watching the best of them. Ronnie's had 1,198 career centuries. Nobody better at break building than this man.
34.
And that's been chiefly because his cue ball is always in the correct place.
35. $40.
Quick look at the scoreboard there. I'll tell him that he will
41.
need at least one of the reds that are on cushions, regardless of what colours he pots here. Missed one of these blues in the previous frame. Without he missed this one. But as I say, we've got 3 reds on cushions. One of them will have to be potted if he's to win the frame at this visit.
$46.
Yeah, these need a little bit of attention.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Still fancied him knocking her in, but it can be missed. And of course, he's left an opportunity, but when you look at the table, not particularly appetising, is it? One red that's near the top left-hand pocket is certainly possible, but the other 3, certainly not.
1.
Oh, good chance here. I don't think he meant to be there, but he can pot this blue. Baulk cushion with left-hand side. Move the red by the middle pocket. Always be on this red by the corner. Didn't get the left-hand side on that he needed. That's an opportunity missed. It's a big target to hit that red.
6.
Yeah, the other disadvantage, of course, is with those two reds being on the top cushion, the black is not on its spot. So if you were playing them and dropping them in, it'd be easy to get on the black, but that's not the case either. It's a case of just trying to get as many points as you can, just get back in the frame. Here comes the hard work.
That's not too bad there, because he's finished a bit
30.
higher than he would have liked on this red, but because of that, it means he can play it at dead weight pace. He'll be on the pink to the left middle pocket. Not getting any easier though. That red underneath the black spot now is very, very difficult. He might even play to move it. Well, I think that's finished a bit too high. I think safety shot's the order of the day here. John, what do you think?
Yep, 100%. No way he could be taking that. He's got alternatives. He could play the red that's up the table, or just stun this one into the cushion and send it round the table. Is he queuing to go for it? Goodness me, this is a big shot. Oh, goodness me.
21.
What a pot that was. Brave new world. This is some effort, I have to be said. I mean, the two reds he's negotiated along the top cushion have just been
26.
absolutely top draw. I tell you what, he can't go for this one, Sean.
Not even I'd go for this one.
And he's played some brilliant shots, but I would suggest this is the most important one of the frame. If he can get Ronnie in a little bit of trouble here. Oh.
Fangs and Jew. 26.
Not the best. And they've covered it.
That is a great shot. That's a play of that with lots of left-hand side. Control the red on and off the cushion onto the side cushion. Miss the green with the cue ball. Very, very good. It doesn't matter how good you are, you can't beat a bit of luck. My goodness. What a fluke that is. And if it doesn't go in the pocket, where would it have finished? What did he play?
No. Has he finished the wrong angle on the yellow? It looks like he may be going away from the green. Or is he straight enough to get over there? Yep, he can.
7.
This is just a remarkable frame of snooker, and I would suggest this could be very close to frame ball. He pots this, comes up, lands on the brown. This will be a remarkable turnaround. Because I must confess, when he came to the table with those reds in the positions they were in, I thought he had no chance.
10.
So, just this blue to pinch a very unlikely frame. Incredible.
19.
Incredible turnaround in a frame of snooker he literally had like he had absolutely no chance in. It shows you've always got to keep the faith as a snooker player. A remarkable frame of snooker that was. Ronnie O'Sullivan looked like he had it. A turnaround. Oh, and he's carrying on. He's going to go for the black now. And in that goes as well. Great frame of snooker. Pulls one back. And it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who leads by 8 frames to 4.
Ronnie's break. Thank you, frame 13. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Thank you, Katrin, and of course some excellent analysis there from the 1997 world champion Ken Doherty, talking about the run of the ball and luck. Of course, he had enough lucky shots of his own, John, didn't he?
Yeah, if anyone knows about flukes, it's Ken, let's be sure, you know. You can be sure about that. Had enough of them. Yeah, it's been one of the facets today of the game that he really does need to improve upon. I mean, that wasn't a totally straightforward safety shot, but somebody at this level, you can't be hitting the ball on the way back to the book like that. Just presenting opportunities to your opponent.
One.
Little bit twixt in between, blue and yellow. And joking apart with a little bit of fun with Ken there, who's very much right that, you know, there's going to be a mid-session interval, and it would have annoyed Ronnie a little bit. He'd be trying to get this match over as quickly as possible. All the top seeds would be just to
3.
keep a bit of mental petrol. If you can win 10-3, 10-4, obviously it's a lot better than win 10-8, 10-9 and taking more out of yourself. So we
4.
want to get this done and dusted, this first round match, as quickly as possible.
He's desperate to get on the red that's on the black spot here. That's the one that's going to lead him to a really good chance to score well and quickly in this frame. A delicate little shot if he plays it now, just to glide by the pack. No, played for the loose red. I'm sure his next pot on the blue, he'll be playing down for that red on the black spot.
9.
If he could find a way to that, clear the spot, he'd be away.
Ten.
Yeah. That's the red Sean was talking about. And he's on it.
50.
Take him too many shots to get there, did it? Now that's in the pocket.
60.
Frame's looking a lot easier. So it's all about, we mentioned the art of the cue ball. Can't always get on the red you want to straight away, so you have to plot your way around. Took him 2 or 3 to get perfect, and
23.
bingo. Now he's in amongst the black spot. What a great chance.
$24.
I was thinking, Sean, as well today about, you know, the young man sitting in the chair there watching his first experience of the Crucible.
31.
I was going to ask you about yours, but you won the first time you were here, didn't you?
No, I made my debut in 2002 as we see O'Sullivan miss
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
an unmissable
31.
red. How did he miss this? I mean, I have to give him the credit there and say that, I mean, that must have been a heavy contact.
Yeah.
Hasn't missed one of those in 30 years.
No, not likely. So you played here when?
My debut was 2002, and I had the baptism of fire against Stephen Hendry. And I played on this table, I lost 10-4. It was 2005 before I won a match here.
Well, what's going on at the moment? Has he left the red?
Yeah, that was actually much more difficult than it looked on screen. Red was almost unpottable, as silly as it sounds. Very difficult to cut it in down the cushion from there. And Ronnie can just get through to it, as you see. And even if he can't, he can either swerve it round or he's just going to bend it with a smidge of right-hand side.
1.
Yeah, nice shot.
Yeah, so, as I say, it's a very different venue, this, and this will be a fantastic experience for the young man. Coming here and playing. Especially playing Ronnie. It turned out nicely.
8.
He's just looking to see if those two reds are a plant. As you can see, they are. They're more of a set, really. They're set to this left-hand side of this corner pocket. But, of course, that's the break-building mastery of somebody like Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's looking at that early to see if he needs to hit the reds again and open them up again if they are a plant, as we know they are. He doesn't need to play a cannon to those reds at all in this break to get this frame won and get to the interval, only needing one more to get into the last 16.
40. 50.
If he can find his way onto that set, that will open up those other reds. He'll only need a few more reds and colours and be across the line.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not completely writing him off, Pang Junju.
20.
If I was him, I'd have a little recording of this match and watch it back, because you'll be amazed how many chances he has had in this game. It's not always about
21.
Enjoying things when you do it properly. It's what you can learn from when you've made a few mistakes. There's only a little bit of safety naivety, a bit of inexperience, and a few pots he's missed, really. It's made a massive difference. But it'll be well worth watching back and learning from.
26. 27.
So this blue will put him 63 points ahead with 67 on. Just needs to thread the cue ball between the baulk colours and back. He'll be extremely frustrated to have cannoned into the blue there.
32.
Can he pot the red that's nearest the pink spot? Not sure. He's having a look, so he must be able to.
Yeah, I'm right down the line, Sean. On the side of the commentary box. He can definitely pot it. And probably play come safety around the angles, maybe. Excellent pot.
33.
Tuck up behind the brown is the shot.
Ronnie O'Sullivan. 33.
So 64 points ahead, only 59 on. Not only has he got to hit this to have any chance, he's got to try and get it safe as well. Pretty good effort. And it is safe. There's a nice target in the baulk area. That was pink and yellow together, so you can only actually see one red, the one that's on the, well, can't really get to that one through the gap, and if he could, it's not much use to him. So there's one red on the left hand side he can see. And it's interval time. His young opponent has conceded the frame. We're giving it to Ronnie, and he'll be very happy to take that frame. Takes the one before the mid-session interval, and he leads by 9 frames to 4.
cue, frame 14. Bang Junju to break.
Thank you, Katrin. Yes, we are back. But as you say, for how long? Just having a look down our stats and our scores. The one thing that stands out for me is there's been no century break yet from Ronnie O'Sullivan in this match. When was the last time he played a best of 19 and didn't make a century? But it would be just like Ronnie to finish one. Ice break there of 82 versus Pang's 133.
Well, forced into a long pot, not particularly close, and well, couldn't put the cue ball with your hand any better. For Pang Junju, absolutely perfect.
1. Eight.
Quite rightly took the opportunity to develop a few reds. Slightly thinner on this one than he would have liked, but you expect him to pot it. Well, you'd expected him to pot it, but he's completely decelerated on that one.
Bang Junju, 8.
And I would suggest that red onto red will be the way Ronnie will play it, because that gives you easy position on the black. Don't take the one that's over the corner.
One.
One of the hallmarks of Ronnie's amazing career has always been when he's been presented a chance to win a match. He usually takes it, doesn't need asking twice.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
Yep. I was about to agree with you, and he went and did that. Most unusual. Of course, knocked the black away into a safe place onto the side cushion, so even if he knocks this in, how does he get position on the colour?
One.
Well, like that. What a lovely little shot he's played there. Come off the two angles and left himself the pink.
Yeah, that's an excellent shot on the pink as well to back up the shot on the red. It was actually quite funny on the plant where he knocked the red onto the red over the pocket. He was so focused on hitting the first red onto the cushion in the correct spot to pop the red over the pocket. The cue ball nearly hit his bridge hand on the way back. Just got out of its way just in time.
8.
Here we see it. The cue ball comes shooting back. He doesn't see it till the last minute and just got out of its way. Now he'd prefer it if the pink doesn't spot, and it doesn't,
40.
so that goes on the black spot. That helps him.
$50.
And all things being equal, he really ought to win the frame here.
Yeah, this is probably the time of the match where you should just loosen up, let your Q arm go. It looks like for all
20.
the world you're going out of this year's championship, so play with a bit of freedom, a bit of fluency, and a bit quicker. And enjoy being out there.
21.
Pretty full on, you're going to win the next 6 frames, so you never know, but just enjoy yourself.
$26. $27.
But I think, as you were saying before the interval there, John, that, you know, whatever happens here, and it does look like Pang is going to lose this match. You know, as you say, it's very hard to see him winning 6 frames on the spin against Ronnie O'Sullivan here. I think he should watch this match back. He'll learn more from watching the replay of this game than he's perhaps learned all season.
32.
Because he's been in this match, he's had opportunities, and it's just been the odd little choice of shot here or there that's been the difference. He hasn't been swamped off the table, as sometimes is the case with O'Sullivan. This scoreline could have been very different.
$33.
Yeah, I must confess, you know, very early in my career, I used to hate having to watch back mistakes and matches where I played poorly, and there was a few of them, but it have to be said, it's the best thing you can do. You do learn a hell of a lot more about yourself when you're out there. And making those mistakes, you're pretty determined not to
38.
make again, so seeing them on tape as it used to be, watching your matches back, it's not a bad thing to do, particularly at this stage of his career.
$39.
Referee Brendan Moore just keeping a close eye on that red by the middle pocket. And this is just spiralled out of control. He can still get to the middle of the cue ball here and cut this red in. It's similar to the one he missed at the start of the frame.
45.
I doubt he'll miss this one.
$46.
And this blue will put him 51 points ahead. So 2 more reds needed after this shot, and he'll be across the line in this frame.
Yeah, very good effort this is, taking these nicely.
51.
As I say, you can play with little to no pressure at the moment because it's not looking like he's going to stay in this year's championship, so just give it a good go. Sometimes, just sometimes, you can
52.
turn matches round playing like that. Always be the optimist when you play this game. You never know what can happen.
$57. 58. $64.
Well, I bet you he couldn't believe he came back to the table with, after he'd missed that red in the corner. He came back to the table so quickly.
65.
Looked like an opportunity for Ronnie that was not going to go a begging, but it did. And he's taken these really well. Can he make the double?
71.
Yes, he can. Last red will be pretty tricky. But he has made the highest break of this match today. Already made a break of 133 in frame 6.
78.
But he's potted some balls in this match, but this will be one of the best of them. Very tricky. Blind pocket with the rest. It's not there, but a very good effort from Pounds and Shoot.
78.
Break of 78. And he's in there punching. It's 9-5 to Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Thank you, frame 15. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break. Quiet as you can, please. Thank you.
I think that's you told in no uncertain terms. Whatever you do, don't say Ronnie's going to win the frame here.
Well, at first glance, I think he's played quite a clever shot there. Almost a carbon copy of his first shot of the match this morning, where he pumped a long red in, almost in exactly the same position. Played it in such a way it was the only red he could leave, and he hasn't left it. And this isn't straightforward to get safe from here.
If you can just screw across the face of the yellow, the red in between green and brown down the table. Well, that was the intention, didn't quite get it. It shouldn't really be any damage done. Might be in a little bit more of a tricky spot for his next shot, because it's certainly not a difficult safety shot. Well, a big shot to take on. Especially when you're going to cannon another red and not get back to the balk area. I have to say his long game hasn't been wholly convincing today.
How do you like these shots though from the side cushion ploughing into other reds? This is extremely difficult. Could be his last shot if this goes wrong. Oh, this was excellent. Centre of the pocket, didn't touch the sides. Now, I'm not sure when potting this black he can avoid cannon in the red underneath. Needs to not touch that red underneath his cue as well.
Yeah, just stretching slightly as well. Oh, good shot. Nicely played that.
Eight. Nine.
I know it's very unlikely, John, that Pang's going to put a run together here and come back and win this match, but if he won a couple more frames, might get interesting.
Very, very good shot. Very bold choice of shot. Got that pink beautifully, the cannon there. Managed to hold the cue ball. So he's enjoying himself, as we mentioned earlier. Play with a bit of freedom, try and speed up a little bit, and you never know where it takes you. And that is a beautiful touch. And that is a lovely, lovely shot. Very easy to get that one wrong. That was beautifully controlled.
$21. $22. $28. $29.
Yeah, so taking these nicely so far. Gone a little bit tricky with the reds on the right hand side, obviously tying up the black, so pink and blue be the main scoring colours.
$35. $36.
Well, that's the first one. He's let the cue ball go awry. May still
42.
be okay. Actually, he is. He can pass the pink. It wasn't the red that he played on, but it's turned out to be pretty good.
43.
Yeah. Signs he's just growing a little bit of confidence here. Pressure's not on him, of course. It will be if he gets a bit closer. That's another kettle of fish that we might be coming to, but at the moment he's doing all he can do, which is playing with that freedom and lack of pressure and just potting balls and
49.
making breaks. Just come a little bit awkward, so can't take the top red, has to take the bottom one.
$50.
Well, you can't do much more than this, can you?
56.
56 ahead now. 83 left. So he's only a few reds and colours away from another frame on the board here.
57.
So if he is mounting a comeback here, an equivalent to climbing Everest, he's only at base camp at the moment. He's giving himself a chance.
$63. $64.
So just this pink. And Ronnie O'Sullivan will need a snooker in this frame. It's not obvious where the next red's coming from.
I think the one below the black was available as he overscrewed it.
70.
That's the one he's played on. Pretty tight. May have overscrewed it, indeed he has.
I'm quite interested here, John, to see what Ronnie does, because he only needs one snooker. I just wonder if Pang doesn't pot this next red, will Ronnie carry on or not? Or will he just say, no, let's get on with the next frame and try and win the next one from the front? Interested to see what happens here.
Pang Junju. 70. And the frame.
Well, there you go. There's your answer. Had enough, and that was an excellent break from Pang Junju. Pulls another one back. It's now 9-6 to Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Of course, JP, you know, as we just think about what's going on here, you know, still Ronnie, massive, massive favourite to get to 10 first here. Pang's doing really well with those last couple of chances he's had, and if you are going to mount a comeback, you just do it one frame at a time. You don't look at the scoreboard.
Yep. Play each frame as if it's the final frame. Just carry on, and as I say, when you're in that position, it looks like you're going to lose. There's a certain freedom you can have in your cue action and an attitude you can have to, you know, speed up, get on with it. It's a bit like Last Chance Saloon. The problem will come if he starts changing the scoreboard and getting pretty close. Then starts pressure starts mounting back on you.
Frame 16.
I always think 9-6 is sort of all right. 9-7 starts to look a little bit twitchy.
Well, Pang Junxu breaks us off here in frame 16. If he breaks off again in this match, could be very interesting. Now, Pang played one of these shots in the first session where he just had to swerve around the green, got it all wrong. Similar types of shot. You can see left of centre striking. Doesn't want the cannon on the blue. He has pushed a red to the corner. So his fate is out of his hands. Nice pot on the red from Ronnie, but he won't be happy with where the cue ball finished. Difficult to control the cue ball from the side cushion. It's quite a small area of the table he can finish into beyond his next red. Is he on the red next to the black? Not sure.
I think he's on nothing. I think he's come. Oh, can he swerve that red? A little bit aside. It's very tight. Sometimes so tight. In fact, he's refusing it. So landed on nothing.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 6.
It has to be said, it's very un-Ronnie O'Sullivan-like towards the end of this match. He's had 2 chances to win. 2 frames ago he made 8. And that time he made 6. Normally so clinical when given the chance to put a match to bed. Right, little nudge there has helped. Are things beginning to turn here? You can see Pang can't get through to that red, to the right hand corner pocket. The one down to the left hand corner pocket, fraught with danger, so he's playing safe off the red to the left of the black. Has to be careful here and avoid all unintentional cannons. That's not too bad. Ronnie can obviously pop that red, but that is very difficult and fraught with danger. And if he plays safe off the pack, doesn't know where the reds are going.
That's an excellent return there. Yeah, sometimes in these situations, just playing a real rock-hard famous snooker, if you're Ronnie O'Sullivan, is a good way forward. Your opponent's making inroads into your lead. He's the one who's desperate to get back in the match. Sometimes just playing a really hard frame can be a good way to go. Give your opponent nothing to look at. Of course, he'd love to get a nice chance, but keeping your opponent away from a good chance is not a bad thing either.
And you can visibly see a change in body language from Pang Junxu as we see the replay of this cracking long red. That wasn't a shot to nothing. He was always canning in other balls. But this is big as well. Right in the heart of the pocket.
Seven.
Now, if he were practicing here, he'd pop this red and screw into the cluster and be on the black.
I'd like you to play this shot for me, Sean. You'd be perfect for this one. Good you are with the rest. I'll be having you for this one. What that? Screw into the pack, bring a few into play, stay on the black. Make yourself a good chance. He's not bad at it either. Excellent shot.
8.
And you'd have to say here for the third frame running that it will only be composure that stops Pang winning the frame at this visit. There's enough reds in the
15.
open. Black's potable to at least one of the corners. Oh, but there we are, you see. That is a mistake, and that is composure. Just didn't think clearly enough under the most intense pressure to get position on that red over the corner. Can still clip this one in, but tough to control the cue ball. Well, he didn't know much about that gap. That's fortunate. But maybe things are just turning here.
Yeah, won't be too disappointed where he's finished. Nice little shot in between green and brown, bit of run inside. There you go, a little bit of kick off the cushion, down for the red. Lovely shot, well played. To perfection.
21. 22. $29.
And this is very impressive, John, hasn't it? Because he can only do what he's doing. He can only keep potting the balls that he's presented with. He hasn't folded.
30.
And deserves every credit. $37. Now removing this red will make the red at the bottom of that cluster of 3 potable into the opposite corner pocket. And that in turn
38.
opens the path for the other 2 nearest the pink. So this really ought to be 9-7.
$45. $46.
Now I think that cue ball has just crept top side of the blue, but he has to force this, playing for the red underneath those 2 stuck together.
Yeah, it's amazing, this wonderful game of ours, how Batches can swing.
51.
He's loosened up, played quicker, played more fluent, got a bit of confidence. Ronnie's missed one or two. It is getting slightly worrying
52.
if you're a Ronnie fan, because momentum is a wonderful thing and he hasn't got it at the moment. The young man he's playing has. This has been an excellent exhibition of his talents
59.
in the last 2.5 frames at least.
$60.
It looks for all the world like he's going to win this frame. To be just 2 behind. And will he be able to keep this fluency and natural rhythm that he's got if he thinks he's got a chance in the match? Pressure's going to start to reverse sooner or later.
65.
Well, isn't that the thing, John? Because it's all right when you don't think you can win. But as you say, if he finds himself within touching distance...
66.
This black will seal this frame. Ronnie already needs a snooker. This will put it to bed. If Pang does make it to 9-8, will he still have the same
73.
level of freedom he has now? The concession has come from Ronnie, so that great break there of 73, together with 78 and 70 in the previous 2 frames, chalks another frame onto the board for Pang Junxu. He now trails only by 2, at 9 frames to 7. Cries of "Come on, Ronnie!"
Frame 17.
Ronnie's army of fans keen to get this match put to bed now. Everyone wanted to see a fight an hour ago. They don't want to see it now. They want their man through.
Interesting break that, because, well, Pang Junxu's looking at the red on the left-hand side. If he takes this on, wow, this is muck or nettles, that's for sure. This had better go in. And he is taking it on. Yep, that was one heck of a shot to take on. Enormous, in fact. But I hope that red pulls up there, Ronnie, so we can drop the one in on the black. And I would suggest, we were talking off air there, myself and Sean, he was saying surely Ronnie will get it done with one visit. Is it this one?
8.
Was that one shot too far from Pang Junxiu? Nothing he can do about it now.
9.
He's got to watch the best match finisher of all time and pray that he gets another shot. Ronnie doesn't usually spurn these chances.
$16.
Yeah, he'd certainly like to beat his highest break of the day so far, which is currently a break of 82 in frame 10. Very unusual, as Sean mentioned earlier, for Ronnie not to make a century. Certainly in a match of this length. Anything 82 or above will do the job just fine.
24. $25.
Yeah, and I think it's worth saying, you know, there are players who would have panicked had their opponent have eaten into their lead, such as Pang has here, but Ronnie's just been around too long, seen it all before, done it all before. You know, the alarm bells won't have been ringing for him.
32. $33.
Pink spot looks occupied, so when Ronnie pots this pink, it'll probably go in the back of the cluster, and that'll be out of the way for the loose red. And just a question here of whether Ronnie leaves the angle on the next red to split the reds, or plays for black or blue and splits the reds off them.
He looks fully focused here. Looks like he's clicked up a mental gear. Sees this as the chance to win frame and match.
Thanks. 39.
So this red, a colour and some form of cannon is going to be required. When you go up for blue, good chance, because it's quite a nice target to hit. And once again, the cue ball is exemplary. That is absolutely perfect. Just got to be a little bit careful with this cannon. But if this goes right, it could be all over. And that's gone right.
45. $46.
So this mid-range red,
51.
pretty straight. I think he might be able to, well, if he stuns it, he might even be able to hold on the pink, but he's through for black.
52.
Really well played. What's the angle like? He's only, well, not great actually. Just a couple of shots away from having this done and dusted.
Yeah, I must admit, though, I like what I see here. You know, he's taking these extra couple of seconds just to make sure, get his composure in, have a look where he wants this cue ball to finish. This is awkward over this red. And that is experience right there, because lots of players would have tried to force that on and off the cushion
59.
for the red next to the black into the same pocket as the black. Ronnie too experienced for that. Yeah,
60.
very good.
Yeah, this is how to finish a match off, isn't it? This is, as if you could see the focus straight away. I could see in his face, he realised this was the chance. And boy, is he taking these well.
67.
Couple of pots away from reaching the second round.
68.
Hasn't been plain sailing. I have to say that all day. And a very spirited comeback from his opponent. There's certainly a young player of potential, and we'll see more of him.
73.
The crowd favourite and the 7 times champion of the world is going to progress into round 2. And I'm pretty sure that this run out that he's had today, he's not had a lot of match play recently, will do him the world of good. He's basically done what was required
81.
today. And we've mentioned before, these first rounds can sometimes be a bit tricky. It's not there, but he won't worry about that. His young opponent comes up, shakes his hand. Ronnie wishes them all the best. And eventually, it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who comes through. He beats Pang Junxiu by 10 frames to 7 and progresses into round 2.